If you feel lonely after 70, these 7 tricks will instantly improve your mood. If you're over 70 and find yourself grappling with loneliness, it's important to remember that you're not alone in feeling this way. Many people in this age group report similar emotions, but the good news is there are practical steps you can take to improve your mood and enhance your overall well-being. These 7 tricks are simple yet effective and backed by case studies and research, making them realistic and achievable. Loneliness can be a tough challenge, especially as social circles shrink with age. Studies reveal that nearly 1 in 3 older adults report feelings of loneliness, which can negatively impact both mental and physical health. Prolonged loneliness has been linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even heart disease. It can feel like a cycle that's hard to break. The more isolated you feel, the harder it seems to reach out or try new things. But staying in that state doesn't have to be your reality. The first step to improving your mood is acknowledging that small, intentional changes can make a significant difference. It might feel overwhelming at first, but starting with something as simple as moving your body can yield remarkable results. Engaging in regular physical activity does not mean you need to aim for strenuous exercise or train for a marathon. Instead, a simple daily walk around your neighborhood, garden, or even inside your home can work wonders. Physical movement naturally stimulates the release of endorphins, which are chemicals in your brain that act as natural mood lifters. This boost in mood can help create a positive ripple effect, making it easier to take on other small changes. Consider the story of Margaret, a 72-year-old retiree from Ohio, who found herself feeling increasingly isolated after her husband passed away. Margaret admitted she had never been someone who exercised regularly and was unsure where to start. One day, after her daughter encouraged her to try just a few minutes of walking, Margaret decided to walk to her mailbox. It was a short stroll, only a couple of minutes long, but it felt like a small achievement. The next day, she walked a little further, reaching the end of her street. By the end of the week, she had built up to a 10-minute walk and noticed how much lighter her mood felt afterward. Over time, Margaret set a goal of walking to the nearby park, which was about a 10-minute walk from her house. She began to enjoy the sights and sounds of her neighborhood, waving to neighbors and observing the blooming flowers along the way. Within a few weeks, she was spending 20 minutes walking each day and started to feel more energetic, both physically and emotionally. What initially felt like a chore turned into something she looked forward to. Margaret's newfound habit not only improved her physical health, but also gave her a sense of accomplishment and routine, which had been missing from her life. Margaret's experience mirrors findings from numerous studies. Research shows that just 20 minutes of light to moderate physical activity a day can significantly reduce symptoms of depression and loneliness in older adults. This simple yet powerful practice can be a lifeline, offering not just better health, but also a renewed sense of connection to the world around you. Another effective approach to lifting your mood is reconnecting with old hobbies or discovering new ones. Engaging in an activity that genuinely interests you can provide a deep sense of purpose and achievement, which are often missing during periods of loneliness. Hobbies offer more than just a way to pass the time. They create opportunities to focus your mind, express yourself, and often connect with others who share similar passions. Take the story of Eleanor, a 75-year-old widow from Florida who had spent years caring for her family and then her husband during his illness. After his passing, Eleanor found her days empty and her heart heavy with loneliness. One afternoon, while visiting a local community center at the urging of her daughter, she noticed a flyer for a beginner's art class. Eleanor hesitated. She had never painted before and worried that she might feel out of place. But something about the bright colors and the idea of trying something completely new intrigued her. She decided to give it a chance. On the first day of class, Eleanor felt nervous as she sat in a room filled with strangers. The instructor handed her a paintbrush and encouraged the group to simply explore the feel of the brush on paper. At first, her strokes were hesitant, but as she let herself relax, Eleanor began to enjoy the process. Over the next few weeks, she started looking forward to her Tuesday morning class. She found that blending colors and creating simple shapes brought her a sense of calm and satisfaction. Even more importantly, Eleanor began to connect with the other participants. They would chat about their projects and share stories about their lives. One woman, a retired teacher, told Eleanor about a craft fair where they could display their art together. These small interactions blossomed into friendships. By the end of 3 months, Eleanor's outlook on life had shifted dramatically. She described feeling the spark of vitality she had not felt in years, all because she had taken that first brave step into something new. Research supports Eleanor's experience. A study conducted by a community center in Florida found that seniors who joined art or knitting classes reported a 30% decrease in feelings of loneliness within 3 months. Whether it is painting, knitting, gardening, or another hobby that sparks your interest, reconnecting with creativity can truly change your life. Building connections is another crucial component to combating loneliness. Humans are inherently social beings, and meaningful interactions have been proven to significantly enhance mental health and overall well-being. However, for many older adults, traditional methods of meeting people can feel daunting. Social circles may shrink over time due to retirement, family moving away, or the passing of friends and loved ones. In such cases, technology can serve as a valuable bridge, offering new and accessible ways to connect with others. Take the story of Marian, an 80-year-old grandmother who lived alone in New Jersey. After her husband passed away, Marian found it increasingly difficult to maintain her friendships. Her closest friends lived out of state, and her mobility issues made in-person visits challenging. Her granddaughter, Lily, suggested that Marian learn to use a video calling app to stay in touch. At first, Marian dismissed the idea. She had never been comfortable with smartphones or computers and worried the technology would be too complicated for her to grasp. One weekend, Lily visited and patiently walked Marian through the steps of setting up a video call. They practiced dialing Lily's number, adjusting the camera, and even adding filters for fun. Marian was hesitant but determined to give it a try. The following week, she made her first solo video call to her childhood friend, Claire, who lived over 1,000 miles away. Seeing Claire's smiling face on the screen filled Marian with unexpected joy. The two spent an hour laughing, reminiscing, and even sharing their favorite recipes. This small step turned into a weekly tradition. Marian began calling not only Claire but also other friends and family members. Sometimes the calls were brief, just a quick hello and update. Other times, they would spend hours chatting, sharing their days, and enjoying virtual companionship. Marian even joined a video-based book club for seniors, where she met new people with shared interests. Research supports Marian's experience. A study from the University of California found that seniors who learned to use video calling apps experienced a 25% reduction in feelings of isolation. These digital connections, while not a substitute for physical presence, brought laughter, warmth, and a renewed sense of community into Marian's life. It demonstrates that even in the face of technological hesitation, taking the leap to build connections can be transformative. Another trick to boost your mood and find purpose is volunteering. Helping others can provide a profound sense of fulfillment and an emotional lift that is hard to replicate through other activities. It shifts your focus from your own feelings of loneliness to the positive impact you can have on someone else's life. Whether it involves reading to children at a local library, assisting at a food bank, or tutoring students online, giving back allows you to reconnect with your community and feel valued. Take the story of Patricia, a 71-year-old retired teacher living in Texas. Patricia spent decades teaching elementary school and found great joy in shaping young minds. However, after retirement, she often felt adrift without her daily interactions with students. Her daughter suggested that Patricia try tutoring online, connecting with students who needed extra academic help. Patricia hesitated at first, unsure about adapting her teaching methods to an online format. She worried about whether she could still make a difference, especially without the physical classroom environment she loved so much. With a bit of encouragement and guidance on using the online platform, Patricia decided to give it a try. She began working with a third grader named Mia, who was struggling with reading comprehension. Patricia crafted engaging lesson plans tailored to Mia's interests, including stories about animals and adventures. Over time, Patricia noticed Mia's confidence growing with each session. More than just teaching, Patricia found herself invested in Mia's progress and celebrating her small victories. The act of volunteering rekindled a sense of purpose for Patricia. She no longer felt like her years of teaching experience were behind her, but rather that they were continuing to make a meaningful impact. Beyond her connection with Mia, Patricia also joined an online community of retired teachers who volunteered their time. They shared tips, success stories, and even bonded over the unique challenges of virtual tutoring. Research supports Patricia's experience. Studies show that seniors who volunteer feel up to 30% happier than those who do not. This boost in happiness comes from a combination of social engagement, a renewed sense of purpose, and the deep satisfaction of making a difference. Volunteering may seem like a small step, but it can transform your days and bring joy and connection back into your life. Pets can play a transformative role in alleviating feelings of loneliness. Animals provide unconditional companionship, joy, and even a sense of purpose. For many seniors, though, the idea of owning a pet can feel overwhelming due to concerns about costs, physical demands, or long-term care. Thankfully, there are programs that allow you to spend time with animals without the full responsibility of ownership. Therapy animal organizations often connect seniors with gentle dogs, cats, or even smaller pets like rabbits, offering the chance to experience the benefits of animal interaction in manageable ways. Consider the story of Leonard, a 78-year-old widower living in New York. After his wife passed away, Leonard struggled with the silence in his home. His days felt long and empty, and he missed the warmth of human connection. A neighbor suggested he look into a local therapy dog program where trained volunteers bring well-behaved dogs to visit seniors. Initially, Leonard was skeptical. He had never been much of a dog person and worried that the experience might feel awkward or forced. Despite his hesitation, Leonard agreed to a trial session. On a crisp Tuesday afternoon, a volunteer arrived at his home with Daisy, a gentle golden retriever. Daisy approached Leonard with her tail wagging, and as soon as he petted her soft fur, he felt a surprising sense of calm. During their hour together, Leonard played a simple game of fetch with Daisy and even laughed when she playfully nudged his hand for more treats. Over the following weeks, Leonard began to look forward to Daisy's visits. The anticipation of her arrival gave him a renewed sense of routine and something to plan his week around. The impact on Leonard's mood was profound. He reported feeling less isolated and more connected to the world around him. Daisy became a bridge for conversations too, as neighbors and friends began asking about his experience with the therapy dog. Research supports these anecdotal stories. Studies have shown that interactions with animals can lower cortisol levels, reduce stress, and improve overall mood. Programs like the one Leonard joined make it possible for seniors to reap these benefits without the lifelong commitment of pet ownership. For those who miss the warmth and comfort of companionship, spending time with animals can be a heartwarming and effective way to combat loneliness. Maintaining a positive perspective is crucial for improving your mood, especially during challenging times. One powerful way to nurture this mindset is through gratitude practices. Shifting your focus toward what you appreciate, rather than dwelling on what you lack, can create profound emotional and mental benefits. Research from Harvard University underscores the effectiveness of this approach. A study revealed that individuals who wrote down 3 things they were grateful for each day experienced a noticeable improvement in their mood and overall well-being over time. Consider the story of Margaret, a 73-year-old woman from Minnesota. After losing her spouse of 50 years, Margaret felt a deep void in her life. The days felt monotonous, and even small tasks seemed overwhelming. At the suggestion of her daughter, Margaret decided to try keeping a gratitude journal. At first, the practice seemed daunting. She stared at the blank page, struggling to identify even one thing she genuinely felt grateful for. Her sadness felt all-encompassing, and finding glimmers of positivity seemed impossible. However, Margaret persevered. On the first day, she wrote, "I'm grateful for the roof over my head." It felt simple but sincere. The next day, she added, "I'm thankful for the cup of tea I had this morning." Slowly, Margaret began to notice more and more small joys in her daily life. One day, she wrote about the warmth of the sun on her face during an afternoon walk. Another day, she jotted down how a neighbor's cheerful wave lifted her spirits. Over time, her gratitude entries grew richer and more detailed, reflecting a growing awareness of the positive moments in her life. The act of regularly practicing gratitude didn't erase Margaret's grief, but it gave her a new perspective. Instead of focusing solely on her loss, she found herself appreciating the beauty and kindness that still existed around her. This habit also helped Margaret reconnect with others. She began sharing her gratitude journal with her granddaughter, who was inspired to start her own. Gratitude practices like Margaret's not only improve mood but also create a sense of grounding and optimism. They help you become more attuned to life's small blessings, fostering resilience and a renewed sense of hope. The power of gratitude lies in its simplicity, yet its impact can be life-changing. Creating structure in your day can provide much-needed stability and comfort, especially when loneliness begins to creep in. Having a routine not only helps break up the monotony, but also fosters a sense of predictability that combats feelings of aimlessness. For many seniors, the absence of a structured day after retirement or the loss of a loved one can lead to emotional struggles. When everything starts to feel scattered and unorganized, the mind can spiral into isolation. But even the smallest routine can help restore a sense of balance. Take, for example, the story of Doris, a 74-year-old retiree in California. After leaving her job as a teacher, Doris found herself adrift. The days seemed to blend together, and she struggled to find purpose. The house was quiet, and her social interactions became fewer. Doris tried to keep herself busy with television, but it didn't provide the fulfillment she craved. Eventually, she decided to introduce some structure into her life. She started small, by committing to simple activities each day that brought her comfort and joy. Every morning, Doris would wake up and brew a cup of tea, then sit by her window and listen to her favorite radio show. This small act gave her something to look forward to each day. It was a small, comforting ritual that helped her set a positive tone for the hours ahead. From there, Doris expanded her routine. She allocated time each day for gardening, something she had loved for years but had neglected in the hustle and bustle of her working life. She started planting flowers and vegetables in her backyard, which gave her a renewed sense of accomplishment and joy. As her garden flourished, so did her spirit. Each day, she spent time caring for the plants, watching them grow, and feeling connected to nature. Doris also carved out time to read and call a friend every afternoon. The phone calls became a vital part of her routine, offering not just social connection but a reminder that she still mattered in the lives of others. This small, predictable schedule helped Doris regain a sense of purpose she had been missing. Her days felt more grounded and less lonely. What Doris realized was that routine didn't have to be rigid or overwhelming. It simply needed to provide enough structure to offer comfort and predictability. By introducing a sense of order into her life, Doris discovered how even the smallest of daily activities could make a world of difference in how she felt. Each of these strategies is grounded in real-world examples and supported by research, making them both practical and achievable. If you feel lonely after 70, trying even one of these tricks can start to shift your perspective and improve your mood. Remember, the key is to take small, consistent steps. Over time, these small actions can lead to significant changes in how you feel and experience life.